could tell it was like a suicide bomber. But I'm not saying it was a bomb, but, you know, it was a plane. And it just came, it came streaking down and it hit short. Just, it didn't go into the top of the Pentagon. It came like in short, and then everything sprayed up, like a fireball sprayed up on the wall.
It was just amazing, something you only see in the movies. That a huge airplane, looks to me like a 757, American Airlines, probably flying around 60 to 70 yards on top of my car.
Oh my goodness.
Everything was shaking. And the next thing we saw, that airplane crashed in the Pentagon. And kind of the Pentagon sucked in the airplane, so we didn't see any more parts or any pieces of the airplane.
A piece of the aircraft actually landed and broke your windshield, as I understand it.
Just landed by the car. And
Unbelievable.
this is one of...
Now, Aziz, in this situation that took place today, what did the other motorists do? This is it's almost macabre to have a piece of something like that in your hands, something that is a part of such a national, international, world tragedy that took place on this day. And you and
just the time I turned my head to the left, it seems like the pilot or the person who was in charge of the airplane put full torque or throttle to the airplane.
It seemed like it was going faster as it went into it.
Exactly, yeah. It was, and especially, as I mentioned to you, I do fly small airplanes occasionally, and it looked to me as someone professional, especially when you maneuver and turn the airplane, it takes you a few seconds to put the wings equally settled.
But it didn't seem to you like that this wasn't a pilot who was struggling for control of the aircraft. This was someone who was heading it right in there?
Exactly, yeah.
I was heading in northbound on 27, and the traffic this morning, it was, you know, a typical rush hour, had ground to a standstill, and I looked off, looked out my window, I saw this plane, a jet, American Airlines jet coming, and I thought, this doesn't add up, it's really low, and I saw it just went, I mean, it was like a cruise missile with wings, went right there and slammed right into the Pentagon. Got out and walked over, and I saw parts of the plane. The debris was actually on the overpass there.
They organized rescue teams, and we all went in to see what we could do to help. And I was working in an area where between the two rings where a large 10-foot diameter hole would burst through, and there was the nose gear on the deck.
Out of nowhere, you just saw a plane real low, and just went straight, didn't come in from high, came in real low, and just the back end of the Pentagon just blew it up, big mushroom fire cloud. Insane.
I was up in the air traffic control tower, and the soldier went downstairs to the restroom, and I just look out the side of the building, I see a plane run right into the side of the Pentagon. And when it did, the whole ceiling and everything just fell.
We went down Route 395, which is adjacent to the Pentagon, and just as we got even with the Pentagon, I looked out to the front and saw coming straight down the road at us a huge jet plane, clearly with American Airlines written on it, and it looked like it was coming in to hit us. I told my wife it's going to hit the Pentagon. It crossed about 100 feet in front of us and about 20 feet altitude, and we watched it go in. It struck the Pentagon. The landing gear was up. There were no flaps down, and it looked like a deadly missile on the final phase of its mission into the building.
Captain McCoy, Engine Company 101B. We were coming down 395 at the time of the accident. We saw the plane come into the Pentagon. My crew members is firefighter Andrea Kaiser. She was driving. Backstep people were firefighter Jamie Lewis and firefighter Alan Becker. And this particular plane was awful low. And as we were coming down on the 395, it came across the front of us, and it was low, too low. It was a steady speed, and all we saw was it banked, and when it banked, it went down into the Pentagon. So that close. I was able to tell that it was a jet airliner commercial, and that was about it.
Okay. As I was looking at the traffic light through my window, the plane that ultimately ended up here came through my field of vision, and I could tell from its pitch and its downward trend that it appeared it was going to crash.
And are there large bits of fuselage in there?
What I saw was it was really smoky, so I couldn't see bits and pieces. I think I saw I saw the tire of the plane, the front tire of the airplane. When we first got there, I saw a section of the fuselage that had a big C on it, and that was it. That's all I could recognize of the airplane.
Because one of the things that surprises me about the shape of this is that the wings, presumably, you'd think it would have made a slightly broader hole, given the fact of the width of the plane and the wings.
That building is solid concrete. It's a humongous structure. Like I said, I've been here 12 years and I've run hundreds of calls there, and the building is just put together so solidly, and the plane would have buckled before the building would have.